happening in New York or across the globe. Learn why it matters first on Kevin McCullough Radio.
Well, it was the picture that went viral around the universe over the weekend. It looked like a still shot of like a 1950s Batman episode, just the color and the lighting and everything. It was Angela Merkel leaning across the table, staring down Donald Trump, and he's sitting there with his arms folded, kind of half smiling at her like, what you saying? I don't know. I mean, it's interesting if you read social media what people thought of the picture, but the end result was the president said, you know what, I'm not attaching my name to the G7 agreement that we came up here to discuss. And, of course, everybody, particularly on the left side of the American political spectrum, began to lose their mind and melt down. So the question was going to be, well, is this going to adversely affect the markets? Well, let's find out. David Fischer is the CEO of Landmark Capital, and he joins us on Mondays to talk this very topic. And, David, if these tariffs were real and not just a negotiating tool, wouldn't the markets kind of be all over meltdown today because they'd be thinking, oh, my goodness, all these countries are mad at us now. Markets are calm today. What's going on?
Well, I think what's happening is what I said would eventually happen is the market's going to start to factor in some of these negotiations so that if and when the tariffs go into place, the effect of it as far as volatility in a negative way won't be as dramatic, and that's certainly happening. I mean, the market is completely flat, up a little bit, so you would think just the rhetoric of it that the Dow should be off 300 or 400 points today, but that's not the case. In fact, the market's kind of ignoring a lot of negative things that have been talked about for the last couple of weeks, which is good. From the standpoint of the market, it's bad. It means we're not addressing the real fundamental problems. But, we had a report last week saying Medicare is going to be bankrupt a lot sooner. Social Security came out and said the same thing. This is the Associated Press. Bernanke came out and said we're going to have a 2020 major downfall. I mean, there's a lot of negative things that are coming out by very well-respected people in the know, and it's just not affecting the market.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, because I immediately got asked about the walking away from the G7, and I said, guys, have we not learned anything about Trump by now? He's in some real hard-knuckled negotiations, and he wants those guys to even out the trade imbalances that they have with our country. And if China can figure it out and even out their trade imbalance, and they're kind of our enemy, I would think that our allies would be more willing to, make the adjustments. I still am very hesitant to say that I think the tariffs are going to go into full force. But if they do, David, will they cause major market turmoil or, as you're saying, is it all factored in now? Is everybody kind of figured out, that's just his opening shot?
Well, Canada is going to put major tariffs on equivalency of what we put on tariffs to Canada on July 1st. So if that goes into place, I don't think we're going to have a meltdown in the market, Kevin. I think we're going to have a slight pullback, maybe a few hundred points. That would be the norm. But I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't affected at all because, again, the market is factoring in some of the negative press in reference to tariffs. And, the world is not collapsing, and I'm not that type of individual that says it's going to, and neither are you. And so people are coming to the fact that President Trump's just trying to make America great. People might not like his method or his methodism on how he's going about doing this, but the end result is he highly believes in it, right, wrong, or indifference. And there's some things that I think he's saying that is not fully accurate when it comes to Canada's trade. I've done some research from our trade organization, the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. We don't really have a trade deficit, but he said clearly there is. We have a trade surplus of $8.4 billion last year, according to our own trading company. So the numbers aren't always accurate. That's the unfortunate thing. Part of why I come on here is to give another view of this. But I think we need to imbalance the trade deficit, definitely with China.
Sure. Well, and here's what we got out of that. We got better prices on steel and aluminum from them, and they're not going to charge 25% on our cars that we send there anymore. So, even that is a big win. Okay, so the long-term outlook is there's probably still going to be a major correction. It could come in 19, it could come in 20, but it's going to happen at some point. Everyone is saying that it is. Explain to us why gold is so important to at least begin to diversify a little bit into our portfolios in advance of that. Why now is the time to start looking at that so that we're properly balanced?
Well, Well, even just since last week, late last week, a thing called the Smart Money Flow Index. Big smart money, this runs an index, and smart money is bailing at a rate that we have not seen since the last recession. It bailed right before the correction in the Dow, and it's doing the same thing right now. So the indicators are saying get diversified. And just like I said on your program last week, 2 months ago, we had 25 of the most wealthiest people in the world, billionaires, coming to your neck of the woods, and gold was the number one topic. And the people who are so anti-gold are now pro-gold, because they're saying the same things that I've been saying. We are going to have a recession, and when gold moves at 55% average the first year in the first recession, and that's what it did last time in 2008. So get some gold, diversify. Don't have all your eggs in one basket, because that's how you have scrambled eggs.
Well, we don't want to do that. And friends, that's why one of the reasons David's giving away a nearly $2,000 gold coin. It's an 1876 100-year celebration of the founding of the country. It was minted in the San Francisco Mint from the gold in them thar hills from the California gold rush. And you cannot win this gold piece, this beautiful historic gold piece, the weekend of July 4th, if you do not register. So go to am970theanswer.com, am970theanswer.com, and put in your information and register today. Or you can call directly, 844-604-2575. You'll get the 2018 Financial Survival Packet that has been updated. There is a brand new newsletter and a new white paper that are in there. So get that today, 844-604-2575 or am970theanswer.com.